So the second generation Noctua 120mm fan has been released, and in this video I wanted to do some real world testing to see if they can beat the current GOATs, the Phanteks T30s. I'm not reviewing the fans on their own here, but rather their cooling performance in my Form T1 build. The build is the same one as in my Ultimate 5090 T1 video, but I am back to running the Noctua NF-A12x25 G2 as my CPU fan, as it proved to be the superior configuration in the follow-up testing that I did. With air cooling, I'm of course using my custom exhaust shroud, which comes in super handy. It makes fan swapping orders of magnitude faster, thanks to the M3 threaded inserts. With an air-cooled T1, there's more than enough space for 30mm thick fans like the Phanteks T30 or the Corsair RS120 Max, but if the standard thickness Noctua G2s can match their performance, then that would be seriously impressive. It would also make it a much more versatile fan to own, as it doesn't have any special clearance requirements. Let's look over the testing scenario. I decided to do a 20-minute soak test running Star Wars Outlaws. The game is super heavy on the GPU, pulling over 400 watts on average, even with my undervolt profile in place. It's also pulling about 70 watts on average on the 9800X3D CPU, which is typical for most games. For a fair comparison, I have noise normalized both scenarios. The way in which I did this was that I first targeted specific noise readings, prioritizing the exhaust fans, and then blended in the CPU and GPU fans, all while ensuring I stay at my target level without needing to readjust speeds on the exhaust fans. The aim here was to get to a place where I would generally be comfortable for my daily use case under a gaming scenario. I settled on two noise levels, a quieter one at 34 decibels and a louder one at 40 decibels, with the latter being still within the realm of what I'd consider to be acceptable for a build of this size. Here's how those noise levels sound on both fan configurations. I find it hard to pick a winner here. At the lower noise level, I will give a slight edge to the Noctuas, while preferring the Phanteks at the higher noise level. So let's take a look at the testing results, starting with the Phanteks T30 at the 34 decibel level. After 20 minutes, we get a maximum of 80.1 degrees on the GPU. CPU temps are harder to read due to their spiky nature, but they generally settle around 73 degrees. Now let's look at the Noctua fans at the same noise level. GPU temperatures are surprisingly close here, within half a degree, maxing out at 80.4 degrees. CPU temps seem to be quite a bit better, however, settling around 70 degrees, 3 degrees lower than with the T30s. Let's have a look at the higher noise level, starting again with the Phanteks T30s. Temperatures are now much more to my liking, with a maximum of 74.4 degrees on the GPU. CPU temps generally settled around 66 to 67 degrees, in line with the temperature drop observed on the GPU. Now let's see how the Noctuas performed at this higher noise level. The log from the soak test run reveals a maximum temperature of 75.7 degrees on the GPU, or 1.3 degrees higher than what we got with the T30s. CPU temperatures are about the same, settling at around 66 to 67 degrees, if we ignore the spike near the end of the run, which is an outlier that didn't show up during any of my other tests. It's a decent result from the Noctuas, but I did expect them to be a bit closer to the T30s. The result is tight enough that it could be margin of error, although I did my best to keep conditions as similar as possible and the starting ambient temperatures to within 0.1 degrees. There is one more thing, however, that I wanted to test. With the standard thickness of the Noctua fans, there's now quite a large gap between the top of the fans and the top panel of the T1. I've seen others use these fan duct mods to close that gap, and I figured it was worth testing. The theory here being that the larger gap kind of creates a pocket of hot air, even though my exhaust shroud should prevent most of the hot air inside the case from being recirculated. So I printed the fan ducts, I installed them on top of the Noctuas, and reran my soak test. Let's look first at the 40 decibel results to see if there's any change. The fan duct actually gets us a 1 degree improvement here, putting the result within margin of error of the Phanteks T30s, nearly matching that result. On the other hand, CPU temperatures are slightly higher now, between 68 to 69 degrees, so I'm not quite sure what to make of this result. Let's also look at the lower noise level. Here the result is surprisingly worse, with GPU temperatures maxing out 2 degrees higher than without using the fan ducts. I actually ran both tests twice here and got similar results, so this is really puzzling. CPU temps are also higher, consistent with the increase observed in GPU temps, now settling in the 71 to 72 degree range. Given these results, I would not recommend using the fan duct mods. If they would have been instead within margin of error, I would have said that they can possibly hurt, but as it is, I would not use them. Just to be thorough, I printed and tested fan duct mods for the T30s as well. I did a test at a 40 decibel noise level and got practically identical results, but with the T30s the gap to the panel is much smaller, only about 6mm or so, which may explain why the ducts have practically no effect here. Anyway, so what to make of all this testing? At the higher noise level, which is where my fan control configuration would end up anyway with such a demanding load, the Noctuas performed slightly worse. At the lower noise level, however, I would say that the fans are more or less evenly matched, with an interesting advantage in CPU temps in favor of the Noctuas. For an air-cooled T1 build, my recommendation remains to stick with 30mm thick fans like the Phanteks T30 or the Corsair RS120 Max, depending on availability and pricing. On the other hand, if you want to invest in a standard thickness fan that you'll most likely use in several builds in the future, maybe even on radiators in a liquid-cooled setup, then the Noctua NF-A12x25 G2 is an excellent endgame choice. As always though, Noctua will make us wait for the Chromax black version, so if you're not part of Team Brown and Beige, then holding off until later makes more sense, and in the meantime, if you can find them, grab some T30s and hold on to them. There's at least one more T1 video I want to make in the coming weeks, and for those of you waiting, yes, it will be with the flipped travel kit. That's it for this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one real soon. Bye for now.